Good morning, students. I am Sangeeta, lecturer in chemistry, branch general section, working in GPT Narayankhed, semester 1, subject general engineering chemistry, subject code 18C104F. Our major topic is water technology. So, in that subtopic is municipal treatment of water for drinking purpose. Let us recollect what we have discussed in last class. So in last class, what we have discussed? We discussed ion exchange process and advantages of ion exchange process. So what is ion exchange process? So this process is also called as demineralization process. So here in this process, total ions, that is cations and anions, are removed from water. That is total mineral salts are removed off. So that's why it is called as demineralization process. So in this process, we are using two types of resins, acidic resin and basic resin. So in one container we are keeping acidic resin, in another container we are keeping basic resin. Then we are passing hard water onto the acidic resin. Then what happens there? The cations present in the water are exchanged with the H plus ions of the acidic resin. Then water containing anions and H plus ions are moved to the anion exchange resin container. There, the anions present in the water are exchanged with OH minus ions of the basic resin. So like this, cations and anions are removed off. The H plus ions liberated in the first tank and OH minus ions liberated in the second tank combine and form water molecule. Combine to form water molecule. So here, by using these resins, so if we use these resins continuously, so they will exhausted. The exhausted resins are again regenerated by passing dilute acid and dilute basic solutions. So by adding HCl solution, acidic resin is regenerated, and by adding basic solution, basic resin is regenerated. So this ion exchange process we discussed here. So this is the diagram for ion exchange process. This is the diagram for ion exchange process. Okay, acidic resin, basic resin, raw water. So here moving to the second container. So whatever I explained and the equations important already I told. So no, I'm not discussing the equations. Okay. And advantages. So in this method, water without any salts is obtained, no residue is found, can be used for acidic or alkaline water, and it requires no heating. Okay, so our today's topic is, so what are the objectives on completion of this period you would able to understand. So today we are discussing these two topics. So after finishing this topic, you should able to understand these two topics. It is essential qualities of drinking water, and second one is municipal treatment of water for drinking purpose. So first we will see essential qualities of drinking water. So the water which is fit for drinking is called as drinking water, or it is also called as potable water. So the water from different sources used for drinking purpose is called potable water. Means the water which is fit for drinking is called as potable water, and whatever the water you are getting from different sources, already we studied in the first class types of sources. Okay, river water, well water, lake water, like that, different sources. So whatever the water you are getting from the different sources, used for drinking purpose. So the water which is used for drinking purpose is called as potable water. So we'll see the important qualities of drinking water. So what is the first quality? Should be colorless, odorless, and tasteless. Okay? So it should be colorless, means that it should not have any color, it should not have any smell, and should not have any taste. That is, it should not be salty, it should not be sweet. Okay? Then second part, it should be free from suspended impurities like mud particles. Means it should not contain any mud particles. These mud particles are suspended in that water, so that is free from suspended impurities. Then it should be free from dissolved salts like nitrates and phosphates. Means dissolved salts means they will soluble in the water. We can't see those salts. So like nitrates and phosphates should not be there. Then fourth point, it should be free from dissolved poisonous metals. The poisonous metals causes diseases. So those poisonous metals should not be present in the water. The poisonous metals like mercury, arsenic, and cadmium. So these are the poisonous metals. So presence of mercury, what you will get, this main water disease. Okay, so these metals should not present in the water. Then it should be free from dissolved gases like hydrogen sulfide, carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, etc. Okay, these gases also should not present in the water, H2S, CO2 and SO2. Next, it should be free from disease-causing microorganisms like bacteria, fungi, and virus. Okay, disease-causing microorganisms also not present, should not present, because they cause diseases. Bacteria should not present, fungi should not present, and virus should not present. If at all they will present, they cause diseases. Then turbidity of water should not exceed 10 ppm. Turbidity means mud particles. The turbidity of water should not exceed, means below this we can drink. Okay, above this it exceeds. Okay, it is unfit for drinking. Then hardness should be less than 200 ppm. So what is hardness? Presence of salts like magnesium carbonate, calcium bicarbonate, magnesium chloride, calcium chloride, those salts should not present. If at all present, it should be less than 200 ppm parts per million. Hardness should be less than 200 ppm. Then only we can drink that water. And pH of the water is in between 7 and 8. It is neutral. It should not be acidic. It should not be basic. It should be between 7 and 8. Then only we will drink. And fluoride should be less than 3 ppm. Fluorides, fluorosis you will get, no? So that fluoride should be less than 3 ppm. Then only you can drink. So these are the some of the qualities of essential, important qualities of potable water or drinking water. So once again I will repeat. It should be colorless, odorless, and tasteless. It should be free from suspended impurities like mud particles. It should be free from dissolved salts like nitrates, phosphates, etc. It should be free from dissolved poisonous metals like mercury, arsenic, cadmium, etc. It should be free from dissolved gases like H2S, CO2, SO2, etc. It should be free from disease-causing microorganisms like bacteria, fungi, virus, etc. Turbidity of water should not exceed 10 ppm. Hardness should be less than 200 ppm. The pH of water is in between 7 and 8. Fluoride should be less than 3 ppm. So these are the 10 essential qualities of drinking water, and this question is very, very important. Maximum times repeated this question. So for 3 marks, for 5 marks, or for 1 mark also they can ask write 2 essential qualities. Okay. So very, very important question. Then we'll go to the methods of municipal treatment of water for drinking purpose. So whatever the water we are drinking, So that will be treated first. Treating means purifying. So the removal of impurities from the water. So we'll see that municipal treatment of water for drinking purpose. Water is used for drinking purpose is called potable water. So already I told which is used for drinking purpose is called potable water. Water obtained from different sources like rivers, ponds, lakes and wells for drinking purpose contains impurities. So whatever the water you are getting from the different sources like rivers, ponds, lakes and wells, they contains impurities. These impurities are removed from water before used for drinking purpose. Otherwise, water causes harm to human beings. So before drinking, what we have to do, these impurities will be removed from the water. So if at all, if you don't remove the impurities, what happens? This water cause harm to human beings so that you may get diseases. If bacteria is present, you will get diseases. Okay, like that. So we have to treat the water before drinking. So the following steps are involved in the treatment of drinking water. Treating means purifying. So purification of water, that is removal of impurities from the water. So we will follow the some steps to treat the water for drinking purpose. So this can be done in two steps. So first one is removal of suspended impurities. Okay. Removal of suspended impurities and removal of disease causing microorganisms. So first one is removal of suspended impurities. So here. Removal of suspended impurities. The suspended impurities present in water are removed by following methods. So to remove these suspended impurities, we follow some of the methods. The first one is screening. What is meant by screening? The process of removal of large floating impurities by passing through screens is called screening. So here, first we will do screening. So whatever the large floating impurities, so some particles will float on the water. So those floating impurities will be removed off by using screens. For example, trees, branches, leaves, whatever those. Okay, those floating impurities will be removed off by passing through screens. Is called as screening. And next one is plain sedimentation. The process of settlement of suspended impurities when water is allowed to stand in big tanks or reservoirs is called plain sedimentations. Some bacteria also killed during this process as the water is exposed to sunlight. So what we are doing in plain sedimentation, so whatever the suspended impurities present in plain sedimentation, whatever the impurities present in water, so that will be allowed to stand for few hours in big tank or reservoirs. So then what happens, whatever the suspended impurities present in water, they will go and settle at the bottom of the tank. So that is called as plain sedimentation. So here what we are doing, we are exposing to sunlight. So while exposing, if at all any bacteria is present in that water, that bacteria also killed off during this plain sedimentation. So what is meant by plain sedimentation? The process of settlement of suspended impurities and water is allowed to stand in big tanks or reservoirs is called plain sedimentation. So during this process, if any bacteria may present, that also killed off as water is exposed to sunlight. Then next, after sedimentation, we'll go to the coagulation, or it is also called as flocculation. Coagulation or flocculation. So the process of settlement of small suspended impurities, okay, by adding some chemicals, like alum is called coagulation or flocculation, okay. So the process of settlement of small suspended impurities by adding some chemicals like alum is called coagulation or flocculation. The chemicals used are called coagulants. So we are using one chemical that is called as alum. So by adding this alum, already we removed some suspended impurities through plain sedimentation. If at all any small suspended impurities are present, those small suspended impurities are removed off by adding this chemical alum. What happens there? Coagulation or flocculation, that means they will clot, and the chemicals used are called coagulants. So whatever the chemicals we are, whatever the chemicals we are using, these are called coagulants. So here alum is the coagulant. So when you add this alum to the water, small suspended impurities will be coagulated. So like this, we will do the coagulation process. Like that, we will remove the small suspended impurities. And potash alum is used as a coagulant in the purification of water. So this potash alum is used as a coagulant in the purification of water. And this alum produces gelatinous aluminum hydroxide due to hydrolysis, which removes impurities. That when you add alum to the water, this alum produces what? Some gelatinous aluminum hydroxide due to hydrolysis. Their hydrolysis will take place. So that means it will react with water and forms aluminum hydroxide. And this aluminum hydroxide removes the impurities present in the water. So this is about coagulation. After coagulation, what we will do? We will do filtration. After sedimentation and coagulation, the water is passed through filter beds which are made up of coke, sand and gravel. Coke removes color and odor. Okay. So after this coagulation and plain sedimentation, we will pass through the filter beds, and filter bed is made up of coke, sand and gravel. So if coke removes what? Coke will remove color and odor, and the sand and gravel filter the paper. So odor means smell, and it will, if any color is present, that it will remove the color. If any smell is present, it will remove the smell also. Like this, we will remove the suspended impurities present in the water. If you see the diagram here, so first screening, okay, then we are going to the plain sedimentation, then we are going to the, that is coagulants, okay, then we are going to the filtration, that is sand filters, okay. So then we will do the disinfection, okay. So this is about municipal treatment of water drinking purpose diagram. So what we did, we removed the suspended impurities. Then what you have to remove? You have to remove the disease causing microorganisms. Okay, I said coke removes the odor and color from water, and layers of sand and gravel filter the water. Just they will filter the water. So after that, removing the suspended impurities, you have to remove the disease causing microorganisms. So second step is removal of disease causing microorganisms. So the process of removal of disease causing microorganisms from water is called sterilization. So what is meant by sterilization? One more question. So what is meant by sterilization? Sterile water. You might have heard this word. Sterile water. The process of removal of disease causing microorganisms. So whatever the disease causing microorganisms present in the water, that will be removed off. So whatever the obtained after that is called as sterile water. So that process is called as sterilization. So for sterilization, we will follow some of the methods. So now we will see the methods for sterilization of water. The first method is boiling. So how will you sterilize the water? First method. It is the most common method. Okay. It is simple and most effective method useful for domestic purpose, but it is not suitable for sterilization of large amounts of water. It is very simple method and most effective method. So used in domestic purpose, but it is not suitable for large amounts of water. That means we can use for very small amounts. So if you boil water for 15 to 20 minutes, whatever the bacteria present in the water, that will be killed off. If any salts are present, those will also be removed off. That is temporary hardness giving salts also removed off. So it is simple method and most effective, but it is not suitable for large amounts of water. Okay. Then come to the aeration. So what is meant by aeration? In this method, microorganisms are killed by exposing the water to sunlight, by sprinkling the water into air. The UV rays present in sunlight kills microorganisms. So here what we are doing, this process also microorganisms are killed. So how microorganisms are killed? By exposing the water to sunlight. So here we are exposing the water to sunlight. How we are exposing? By sprinkling the water into air. So we are sprinkling the water into air. So whatever the UV rays present in sunlight, when you sprinkle the water into air, whenever the UV rays present in sunlight kills microorganisms. Okay, so in the aeration process, we are killing these microorganisms. So how we are killing the microorganisms? So we are exposing the water to sunlight. How we are exposing? We are sprinkling the water into the air. So like that, the UV rays present in sunlight kills the microorganisms when you sprinkle the water. Okay. So then next come to ozonization. The passing of ozone through water kills bacteria. Passing of ozone through water kills bacteria due to release of nascent oxygen. So next method is ozonization. So what is meant by ozonization? Passing of ozone gas through water. So when you pass ozone gas through water, what it will do? It will kills bacteria. How it kills bacteria? Due to release of nascent oxygen. This O3 will be converted into O2 molecule and this nascent oxygen. So what this nascent oxygen will do? This will kill bacteria. How it will kill bacteria? It will combine with bacteria and it will convert bacteria to oxidized bacteria, that is killed off. Bacteria is killed off. So the next method is exposure to UV rays. So by exposing to UV rays, we can kill the bacteria. Okay. It is the most effective and costly method, and it is very effective method and costly method. This method is used to purify water in swimming pools. So where this method is used? This method is used in swimming pools where we will purify the water. So direct, we will expose the water to the UV rays. So what that UV rays will do? That UV rays will kill the microorganisms or bacteria present in the water. So it is also more effective method, but it is costly method. So generally this method is used in swimming pools. There we will purify the water. Okay. The next, addition of oxidizing agents. By adding oxidizing agents also will kill the bacteria. So best oxidizing agent is KMnO4. So it is used for the purification of well water. So when you want to purify the well water, this oxidizing agent like KMnO4 calcium permanganate is added, then we'll purify the water. Then next is the chlorination. So this one all of you know this one. This is very common method. So what is meant by chlorination? The process of addition of liquid chlorine or bleaching powder to purify the water is called chlorination. What is meant by chlorination? Either addition of liquid chlorine or bleaching powder to purify the water is called chlorination. Okay. So what we will do to purify the water? Bleaching powder will be added so that they will kill the bacteria, or we can use liquid chlorine also to kill the bacteria. So that process is called as chlorination. And during chlorination, the following reactions takes place. So this is the formula for bleaching powder, calcium oxychloride. So when you add bleaching powder to water, what happens? This bleaching powder will react with water and produces calcium hydroxide and chlorine. And this chlorine again reacts with the H2O water molecule. Then it will be converted into HCl and HOCl. This is hydrochloric acid and this is hypochlorous acid. And this is unstable. So what it will do? It will again ionize and forms HCl and nascent oxygen. As it is unstable, they dissociates and forms HCl and nascent oxygen. So what this nascent oxygen it will do? Already we studied here, no? Ozonization. So this nascent oxygen is having capacity to kill the bacteria. So this nascent oxygen will combine with this bacteria and it kills the bacteria. That means it converts bacteria to oxidized bacteria. As it is becoming oxidized, it means it is killed off. Okay. So like this, we will do the chlorination. Okay. Calcium oxychloride plus water, calcium hydroxide plus chlorine, chlorine plus H2O, HCl plus HOCl. This is hypochlorous acid. This is unstable, so it is split into HCl plus O, nascent oxygen. This nascent oxygen will kill the bacteria. So like this, we will remove the disease-causing microorganisms present in the water by these methods. So once again, we will see here. So what is the sterilization? Removal of disease-causing microorganisms from water is called sterilization. So by these methods we can do the sterilization. So first one, boiling. So by boiling water we can remove the bacteria, but it is simple and most effective, but it is not suitable for large amounts of water. Then aeration. So in this method, how we are killing the microorganisms? We are exposing the water to sunlight. How we are exposing? By sprinkling the water into air, so that UV rays present in sunlight kills the microorganisms. Next, ozonization. By passing ozone gas, we can kill the bacteria. So how? When ozone gas is passed, it will split into O2 and nascent oxygen, and this nascent oxygen will kill the bacteria. And by exposing to UV rays, we can kill the bacteria. When water is exposed to UV rays, already here we studied, no? So that bacteria or microorganisms will be killed off. So this method is very effective and costly method, and this method is used to purify water in swimming pools. Then by adding oxidizing agents like KMnO4 is used for the purification of well water. So especially well water purifier. To purify well water, we are using this KMnO4. And at last, this is the chlorination. So this is very effective method and common method, and we will use this method only. We will add bleaching powder to the water to purify the water. And this is the diagram already I shown you. So here screening, okay. Then plain sedimentation, okay. Then coagulation, okay. Then we are passing through the filter beds, okay. Then disinfection, then storage, then we are distributing to the system. Okay. This is about municipal treatment of water for drinking purpose. Okay. summary. So what we have discussed in this period? This one, essential qualities of drinking water and municipal treatment of drinking water with neat diagram. So very important, you have to draw the diagram and you have to explain this one. Next, what type of objective type questions you will expect from this topic? So direct questions. The first one, which of the following is used as coagulant in the purification of water? So in coagulation we studied now the A alum, B bleaching powder, C chlorine and D camphor. So these three are used for what? For sterilization. Okay, this bleaching powder for sterilization, chlorine for sterilization, camphor. So which one is the coagulant? Alum. So answer A. So which of the following is used as a coagulant in the purification of water means alum. Answer A is answer. The next question. Which of the following compound is used as sterilizing agent in the municipal treatment of water? Okay. So among the sterilizing agent is present. So which one is sterilizing agent? This bleaching powder is the sterilizing agent. That means is the most common and this is the effective method. Okay. So which of the following compound is used as sterilizing agent in the municipal treatment of water means answer is B. So B, bleaching powder is the sterilizing agent. Next, third one. During chlorination of drinking water, removal of bacteria takes place due to. So we are adding chlorination means we are adding liquid chlorine or bleaching powder to the water. So here what is happening? Bacteria is removed off. So due to what bacteria is removing? So here given some molecules. So you have to choose the answer. A HCl, B HOCl, C NaOH, D HCl plus HOCl. So just now we have seen the chemical reactions for the chlorination. So because of what? Bacteria is killed off. Is HOCl. When HOCl splits, it will give nascent oxygen. No? So this because of this only, this nascent oxygen is releasing and this nascent oxygen is killing the bacteria. So what is the answer here? B. Hypochlorous acid HOCl is the answer. Then next. The common inorganic coagulant is. So here some of the options are given in this. Some inorganic coagulant is there. So what is that inorganic coagulant? So A potash alum, B sodium aluminates, C ferric chloride, D ferric sulfate, and answer is potash alum is the inorganic coagulant. So answer is A. So this type of objective type questions you may expect from this topic. Next come to the questions. Write essential qualities of drinking water. Then second, explain municipal treatment of drinking water with neat diagram. And third one, what is sterilization of water? Mention any 4 methods of sterilization of water. Explain chlorination with equations. Okay. Among these, very frequently asked questions are maximum repeated questions are this: write essential qualities of drinking water and the sterilization of water. And what is sterilization for one more question. And this municipal treatment of drinking water with neat diagram. This for essay question. Okay. So in that you have 2 steps, no, removal of suspended impurities and removal of disease causing microorganisms. So what is sterilization of water means? That removal of disease causing microorganisms from water is called sterilization of water. So here we studied many methods. So mention any 4 methods they will ask. And this chlorination is very important. Explain chlorination with equations. So this is for 5 marks. They can ask her 3 marks. Only chlorination. So chlorination means what is meant by chlorination you have to write, and you have to write those equations. So what is chlorination? The addition of liquid chlorine or bleaching powder to water, okay, to remove the disease causing microorganisms from water is called chlorination. Then their equations, those equations are very important. Already I told you. So you have to practice these equations, then only you will get. So if you see like this, if you read like this, you won't get. You have to practice, you have to write 4-5 times, then only you will get the equations. So this, you have to remember this formula CaCO2. When it combines with water, what is forming? Calcium hydroxide plus chlorine. Then this chlorine is reacting with water and it is producing HCl and HOCl. And this HOCl is unstable. This is stable. So as it is unstable, it again splits, again dissociates and forms nascent oxygen. And this nascent oxygen combines with bacteria and forms oxidized bacteria. So like this you have to write. And then come to the essential qualities. So here I have given total 10 qualities. So minimum you have to study 6 qualities. Okay. Then municipal treatment diagram important. Okay. Suspended impurities also they can ask. And what is sterilization, that is important. Okay. This type of questions you may expect. Among this one important, very maximum repeated this question, and this question also maximum repeated. And among this chlorination is important. Okay, with this we finished. Today what we finished? Essential qualities of drinking water and municipal treatment of drinking water. Okay, thank you students.